economic growth is first on the list of priorities as Sarawak moves toward becoming a developed nation by 2030. Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg reiterate the government's commitment to developing new initiatives to continue stimulating economic growth, drive innovation and support investment, and at the same time enhancing the civil service performance in service deliveries.
The Premier stressed that it is proven when good governance has led to the immense contribution by the civil servants at increasing the state's revenue by almost 12 billion ringgit last year.
Memang benar kami dalam kerajaan nak cari jalan lah supaya skim servis kita adalah skim servis mengikut peredaran zaman. Bermakna satu pendekatan bukan saja dapat menaikkan taraf kedudukan civil service, tetapi juga dari sudut reward must be relevant to the position that you are holding as a trustee and implementer of government policies. Dan kalau keadaan ekonomi kita kuat, sudah tentu kita boleh membangunkan endowment fund untuk perkhidmatan awam.
He was speaking at the Premier's office Chinese New Year celebration at the Sarawak State Legislative Assembly Dun Complex on Tuesday. On February 2nd, Abang Johari said Sarawak had recorded a revenue of 11.9 billion ringgit for 2022, the highest revenue performance ever achieved by Sarawak. He said the figure had surpassed its projected revenue of 10.2 billion ringgit by 17%. Abang Johari said Sarawak's revenue comprised four main categories, namely tax revenue, non-tax revenue, non-revenue receipts, and federal grants and reimbursements.
Deputy State Secretary Dato' Hee Chiang Kee calls upon the members of the Sarawak Civil Service SCS to seize the opportunity in delivering the best service in order for the state to achieve economic prosperity, social inclusion and environmental sustainability, in line with the three pillars that make up the Post-COVID-19 Development Strategy or PCDS 2030.
Therefore, in the year 2023, let us further strengthen the spirit of the rapid through collaboration, cooperation and good relations amongst Sarawak Civil Service. This echoes very well.
Now, Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim wants the Cabinet and civil servants to work as a team, inculcating trust in the work culture. Anwar said that the relevant elements need to be applied in an effort to be free from all wrongdoings that have occurred and may occur.
Anwar acknowledged that there is a seriousness in the teamwork shown by the Cabinet and civil servants over the past few months, such as in the management of foreign workers, as well as the floods and the immediate deployment of the Special Malaysia Disaster Assistance and Rescue Team SMART to Turkey.
Saya tengok ada keinginan rakan-rakan, baik pimpinan ataupun penjawat awam, mengorak langkah dengan lebih pantas, dengan lebih bertanggungjawab.
He said this at the Prime Minister's monthly meeting with the staff of the Prime Minister's Department for February today. Also present were the two Deputy Prime Ministers, Dato' Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and Dato' Seri Fadila Yusof. Anwar also expressed confidence that the cabinet lineup under the unity government is capable of bringing about change and working as a team to raise the country's dignity and Malaysia Madani.
Ya, walaupun latar belakangnya pelbagai dan sejarah pertelingkahan dan pembenturan idea dan pergaduhan itu besar, terutama saya dengan TPM belah kanan saya. Tetapi alhamdulillah, ya, yang tidak boleh dinafikan ialah kesatuan pemikiran, kesatuan tekad itu wujud. Yang ini tidak boleh dinafikan. Ini kenyataannya. Kita bekerja sebagai satu pasukan.
He also called for the civil servants' commitment and enthusiasm to implement changes to drive the country in a better direction. The concept of Malaysia Madani was introduced by Anwar on January 19th, based on the 6 pillars, namely sustainability, prosperity, innovation, respect, trust, and compassion.
Sarawak plans to open 3 additional Homeless Transit Centre (TTG) in Kuching, Miri and Bintulu to tackle homelessness in the state. Minister of Women, Childhood and Community Wellbeing Development in Sarawak, Dato' Sri Fatimah Abdullah said the state government has approved a total of 7 million ringgit under the 12th Malaysia Plan.
InsyaAllah kita akan menubuhkan beberapa buah lagi dalam tahun ini. Untuk tahun ini, so TTG Kuching, kemudian TTG Bintulu, TTG Miri. Jadi 3 buah TTG ini akan ditubuhkan. 2 daripadanya akan siap pada tahun ini sebab ianya hanya melibatkan kerja renovation, iaitu TTG Kuching dan TTG Miri. TTG Bintulu ianya melibatkan membina baru dan hanya akan siap dalam tempoh 24 bulan. So scheduled to be completed in 2025. TTG Kuching insya-Allah pada sebelum penghujung tahun, begitu juga dengan TTG Miri. TTG Miri akan dilaksanakan, agensi pelaksananya adalah Majlis Bandaraya Miri, dijangka siap pada bulan November 2023 dan kita bersyukur projek ini turut mendapat sumbangan daripada pihak swasta iaitu syarikat Samling Group of Companies melalui program CSR mereka. So, TTG Bintulu, agensi pelaksananya adalah Bintulu Development Authority or BDA.
Fatimah further explained that the Bintulu Centre would have a community social support centre adjacent to it.
Kita juga akan menganjurkan 4 siri libat urus untuk membangun panduan pengurusan dan operasi TTG Sibu, so that we will come up with a guideline supaya nanti ianya dapat diguna pakai untuk semua TTG kita. Kita juga perlu memberi latihan kompetensi kepada petugas-petugas di TTG kita ini supaya mereka dapat memberi intervensi ataupun respon yang sewajarnya terhadap berbagai jenis gelandangan yang datang ke TTG kita, termasuk yang mempunyai masalah mental ini.
She told this to reporters during a press conference after chairing the Sarawak Homeless Management Committee meeting at Wisma Bapak Malaysia, Kuching on Tuesday, February 7th.
The construction of a 400-megawatt combined cycle gas turbine CCGT plant in Miri will open up investment opportunities in Sarawak's energy sector. University Malaysia Sarawak UNIMAS Faculty of Economy and Business lecturer Dr. Zul Hazwan Husaini said the construction of the state-of-the-art power plant will potentially attract new investors.
Kalau kita lihat gas turbine power plant ini adalah salah satu kaedah ataupun sumber tenaga. Kalau kita lihat, kita mempunyai sumber tenaga daripada non-renewable dan kita juga mempunyai sumber tenaga daripada renewable. So, jadi gas turbine power plant ini mengimbangi antara non-renewable dan renewable energy, dan ini adalah salah satu kaedah salah satu kaedah yang menggunakan teknologi yang tinggi. Okay, definitely kita akan dapat menarik pelaburan baru.
He added that aside from attracting new investments, the power plant could also open up job opportunities for the locals.
Keduanya, bila kita mempunyai pelaburan yang baru dan dapat menarik ramai pelabur untuk melabur dalam sektor ini, sebenarnya kita akan dapat memberi peluang pekerjaan kepada penduduk tempatan. Namun saya lebih cenderung untuk berfikir kritis tentang kita harus mengambil peluang ini untuk melahirkan graduan dan juga sektor tenaga kerja, sektor dia macam tenaga mahir. Okay? Kita harus mempunyai mengambil peluang untuk melahirkan tenaga mahir dan graduan yang mempunyai pengalaman dan kepakaran dalam bidang tenaga yang seperti ini.
Previously, Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said Petroleum Sarawak Berhad Petros will invest 2 billion ringgit to build a 400 megawatt combined cycle gas turbine CCGT plant in Miri. The power plant, he added, will generate more affordable, reliable and cleaner natural gas from Miri City.
Coming up right after the break, 2 killed in 3 vehicle collision. Turkey and Syria earthquake death toll could pass 20,000. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Hello there and welcome back. Now, Air Asia direct flight between Kuching and Penang will be suspended effective March 1st. The airline stated that the decision was made due to operational reasons. Now, customers who have booked the flight in advance will be informed and compensated via flight arrangements, which can be managed via an email provided to affected customers.
Besides flying to Penang with a stopover in Kuala Lumpur, AirAsia provided 3 other service recovery options, which are a change of flights, credit account, or refund. Customers can also manage their bookings via the AirAsia Super App or its official website. Currently, the low-cost airline has 9 daily flights between Kuching and Kuala Lumpur and 7 between Kuala Lumpur and Penang. Alternatively, AirAsia reminded customers who book their flights through a third-party agency will have to contact their respective travel agents for further assistance.
Cancer does not discriminate. It is a disease that can and does affect us all regardless of social status, race, gender and religion. In conjunction with World Cancer Day, February 4th, cancer survivors took center stage at a fashion show to showcase their resilience and hope in line with the theme, Raising Patient Voices Through Form and Fashion. The president of the Society for Cancer Advocacy and Awareness Kuching, SCAND, Chris Chang, describes the show as a triumph, as hundreds of people deck out in blue and orange ribbons to show their support.
They were all very brave to go up on stage. None of them are models. Like normal people, orang biasa saja. Tapi they dare to go up and they dare to show themselves to the public. And we tell their stories before walking up. So the public also know what they have to go through, their journey. So that is why we wanted to do a fashion show.
He said so during a TVS program Sejahtera Asia on Tuesday. Meanwhile, SCAN's advisor, Datin Dayang Mariani, is proud of the models that took the runway. She said beneath the gorgeous hair, makeup and clothes, her courageous survivor spirit was much more beautiful than anything the audience could see from the outside.
The second thing is because as a survivor, Kita telah melalui banyak-banyak cabaran dalam masa kita buat rawatan kan. So what is going upstage? It's just ada yang tak pernah bermake up pun, tak pernah berdandan, tak pernah buat hairstyle. So bila dia orang didandan, kacak juga kami tu kata dia kan. That was the beauty of it.
Its Vice President, Dr. Fitri Suraya Muhammad Hapni Jobli, on the other hand, hopes that the event could spread awareness and education about the disease to improve outcomes and save lives.
Tapi kita rasa macamnya memberi peluang untuk sidak cancer patients yang survivors untuk rasa macamnya own the event. So I was thinking like, can we do something different this year? And then kami orang unggas sebenarnya form and fashion. Form tu maksudnya ialah bentuk. Bentuk tu datang daripada aktiviti di Pola awal pagi. We had Zumba with Amber Studio. And then we had a lot of people sign up. Jadi penuh depan Plaza Merdeka pagi And then
cukup tepat.
And then because kami nak highlight well-being sebenarnya. Bila kita aktif, insya-Allah our kehidupan pun usually will be more positive lah. Jadi we started with that, and then tengah hari we did question and answer dengan doctors. Jadi kami invite our medical advisors. So daknya lah kami orang bertanya soalan, and then banyak soalan daripada crowd.
A collision between a multi-purpose vehicle MPV, a lorry and a motorcycle near Kampung Gua Sri Amand led to the demise of 2 individuals. Sarawak Fire and Rescue Department Bomba spokesperson said firefighters rushed to the scene after receiving the distress call at 1:38 p.m. Upon arrival, they found the MPV up in flames, and rescue works were carried out to immediately dousing the flames out. The victims of the ill-fated incident were identified as 50-year-old Jerawi Gundam, a motorcyclist, and 17-year-old Valentin Hui Hui, a passenger in the MPV. Meanwhile, the 56-year-old lorry driver who survived the collision is now struggling for his life after suffering 90% burn to his body. His assistant, however, sustained minor injuries and is now seeking treatment at the Sri Amand Hospital. Now on to some global updates. Dozens of powerful aftershocks continued to jolt southern Turkey and northern Syria on Tuesday, a day after an earthquake struck the region, killing more than 5,000 people and destroying thousands of buildings, as difficult conditions and freezing temperatures hampered rescue efforts.
As the scale of the devastation from the 7.8 magnitude tremor, which was followed by a second 7.5 magnitude quake later in the day, continued to unfold, the World Health Organization warned the number of fatalities could exceed 20,000. This morning, Turkey's Vice President Fuat Oktay said 3,419 people had been killed, with a further 20,534 injured. The number of confirmed deaths on the Syrian side of the border rose to 1,602, bringing the death toll in both countries to 5,021. Turkey's disaster management agency said it had 11,342 reports of collapsed buildings, of which 5,775 had been confirmed.
Now, the Special Malaysia Disaster Assistance and Rescue Team SMART has arrived safely in Turkey today to assist in search and rescue efforts, as the death toll has risen to over 5,000. The 70-member elite SMART team involved in the mission comprise of a medical team from the Royal Medical Corps, the Malaysian Fire and Rescue Department's K9 unit, and a hazardous chemical materials special team. Rescue works that started at 7 a.m. Turkish time raced to retrieve the survivors beneath the rubble, exposed to the elements as people huddled in the freezing cold beside them, waiting for help in southern Turkey and Syria that was rocked by the devastating 7.8 magnitude on Monday.
A woman's voice was heard calling for help under a pile of rubble in the southern province of Hatay. Nearby, the body of a small child lay lifeless. Weeping in the rain, a resident who gave his name as Dennis wrung his hands in despair.
We heard them. They are calling out, asking for help. They asked to be rescued. We cannot rescue them. How can we rescue them? Nobody has come since this morning. Nobody. We have nobody. Look around. Look.
Freezing winter weather hampered such efforts for survivors through the night and worsening conditions for people trapped under rubble or left homeless. Turkey's Disaster and Emergency Management Authority, in its latest statement, said nearly 8,000 people have been rescued from almost 5,000 buildings destroyed in the tremors yesterday. According to the Anadolu News Organization, at least 3,381 people were confirmed dead in Turkey, with 1,000 more injured and trapped. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan, preparing for a tough election in May, called the quake a historic disaster and said authorities were doing all they could. In Syria, the effects of the quake were compounded by the destruction of more than 11 years of civil war. Footage showed two neighboring buildings collapsing one after the other, filling streets with billowing dust. The buildings had fallen in the hours after the quake, which was felt as far away as Cyprus and Lebanon. A top UN humanitarian official said fuel shortages and the harsh winter weather were also creating obstacles to its response.
The infrastructure is damaged. Roads that we used to use for humanitarian work are damaged. We have to be creative in how to get to the people and how to get to them the assistance, but we are working hard.
At least 1,444 people were killed in Syria and about 3,500 injured, according to figures from the Damascus government and rescue workers in the northwestern region controlled by insurgents. The WHO warned the number of dead could rise to more than 4 times this figure, or about 20,000 in the coming days. Countries around the world mobilized rapidly to send aid and rescue workers to the affected areas in Turkey and Syria. The pledges of assistance came from countries across Europe, Asia, the Middle East, as well as North America.
Multiple Turkish families, survivors of Monday's deadly earthquake, have gathered around a bonfire trying to stay warm in a blistering cold night in Kahramanmaraş, which is the epicenter of the disaster. Temperatures in some areas were expected to fall to near freezing, which can make it worse for the people who are still trapped under rubble or those who are left homeless.
A local resident, Nasset Güler, managed to escape with his wife and 4 children just in time during the disaster, but is still reeling from the shock of the tragedy.
We have 4 children and we left the house with them at the last moment. I guess there are several people trapped inside. It was a huge disaster. Our situation is very bad here. We are waiting without water and food. We are in a miserable state.
Meanwhile, another survivor, Orhan Sahin, who is also in the same situation, praying for help to come.
Our houses have been damaged. We cannot go inside now. We haven't eaten anything since morning. Our children are very hungry. May God protect all of us.
The earthquake, followed by a series of devastating aftershocks, was the biggest recorded worldwide by the U.S. Geological Survey since August 2021. Monday's casualties already marked the highest death toll from an earthquake in Turkey since 1999, when a tremor of similar magnitude devastated the heavily populated eastern Marmara Sea region near Istanbul, which killed more than 17,000.
Meanwhile, Syrian toddler Ragat Ismail survives from the rubble of her home after it collapsed in a disastrous earthquake which caused devastation in both Syria and Turkey. Unfortunately, almost all of her family, including her pregnant mother, has perished.
Cradled in the arms of a rescue worker, she surfaced without any injuries from the ruins of Azaz on Monday morning. Her uncle, Abu Hussam, is currently her guardian. Said her two siblings, an older sister and a brother, died along with her pregnant mother.
The ceiling had directly fallen on them. The father and his 1.5-year-old daughter's condition is nearly stable. The father is feared to have his back broken. His young daughter, Ragat, is fine. His pregnant wife, his 5-year-old daughter, and his 4-year-old son have all been killed.
Abu Hussam said another family in the building, a mother and 3 children, had been rescued.
At around 4 a.m., because of the earthquake, the ceiling fell over 2 families. Another family composed of a mother and 3 children, whom we are able to rescue, thank God.
Meanwhile, a baby was born under the rubble of the earthquake and was rushed for medical aid. Unfortunately, the mother died shortly after delivering in the ruins of Aleppo. The earthquake has a death toll surpassing 5,000 people.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. More headlines anytime at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. That's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Henigui. Thank you for watching.